Today I'm going to talk about the administrative budget and also give you an update on the budget. As always, I love the art that the high school sent to us, so all can be proud also from the art standpoint, beautiful picture. So I'll start with the budget update and then we'll do the administrative budget. So from last 2 weeks ago, the board tasked administration to have an expense reduction across the board of 5% for non-salary expenses. So we were able to cut about $225,000 in non-salary expenses. Also, we got the final New York State tax cap. It's an increase from 2% to 1.81%. For good or for bad, that's not relevant for us because our tax cap is in the 10%. But you should know that we're going to have a tax cap of 10% compared to all our districts around the area, that is going to be around 1.81%. On January 8th, we talked about a budget of 81.6 to 82.6. Today we are still within that budget of 82.3. That's an increase of $2.2 million, and it's a percentage increase of around 2.9%. Our preliminary tax levy was $47.5 million. Today it's a little bit less because of some of the expense reductions that we talked, 47.3. Last year, our tax levy was 43.7 million, so that's an increase in our tax levy to 8.2% from 8.71%. I also want to remind everyone what Joe said. Our state aid came about $500,000 more than expected. We also expect about 3 retirements. Those 3 retirements, if we decide to hire new people, will give us savings of about $250,000. So in my next budget presentation we'll know in February because teachers have until January 31st to give us the retirement papers. So now we're going to talk about the smallest part of our budget, the administrative budget, but equally important than the other 2 parts. So here you can see how our budget is divided. You have program, that obviously is curriculum and instruction, the biggest part. Then capital, which is all our debt, our capital, and also our facilities, maintenance, etc., etc. And then the smallest part, the administrative budget. And the administrative budget is divided by general support, central services, general administrative, and curriculum and instruction. The first part is the general support, and it starts with the Board of Education. The Board of Education will set aside money for them to go to training. If we have new members, the new members have to attend training programs, so that part will be about, it looks like $600-700, but it was $200. And the board always needs a district clerk. In the district clerk, we have 1 person that includes the salary and all the expenses related to that and the expenses related to the budget. So for this year, we expect an increase of about 11% in this part of the budget. Central administration starts with the superintendent. The first line represents the superintendent's salary, the secretary's salary, supplies, equipment, and everything that is needed by the superintendent. That part is going to be reduced 7%. The next line is my business office. My business office, we are four and a quarter people. That's going to be basically flat, a reduction of $895. I always like to separate the school resource officer expense out of my budget, but as we all know, we have an agreement with Westchester County, and we pay 100% of the salary and benefits of the school resource officer. So for this year, there's going to be an increase of a little bit less than 5%, of $5,000 or 3.2%. And then finally, we have treasurer, auditors, tax, everything that the taxes we need to pay City of Peekskill to send the tax bills to our residents in the City of Peekskill. We have internal and external auditors that we have to pay, and that's an increase of 1.4%. So our total central administration will have a decrease of about 1.7% or $25,000. Central services represent legal costs. We maintain the same legal costs. We fortunately know, thanks to the good work of all the administration, that our legal costs have not risen in the last several years, and we are working hard to maintain them that way. Then we have personnel department. There's three people in that department. It includes materials, supplies, and the increase is mainly contractual, 3.2%. Then we have our public relations, that's Karen. We proposes to get 40% of that money back. That will increase $400. And then our unallocated insurance, that's insurance for our students. All our students are insured, health insurance in case there's any problem, they cannot pay for insurance, we step in. And finally, our proportional part of our POCI's administrative fees, that's going up 1.9%. Joe and I are having a meeting with POCI's because the way they account for our proportional part is based on our wealth ratio for the last 3 years. So Joe and I are having a meeting with them to let them know that our wealth ratio, unfortunately, is going to go south from here. So we expect next year to be less. But there's an increase of 2% in the central services. Curriculum and development. The first line is Margaret and her team. There's 2 people, here and Jane. That's a contractual increase of 1.5%. Then strategic planning is money that Joe uses for new endeavors. The endeavors are getting smaller and smaller, so we're lowering by 5%. Then we have curriculum and development, a decrease of 2.5%. And then the big number at the bottom are the secretaries and principals in all our buildings. The only administrators, and we don't have here, are Tommy Baker, because he's in the athletic budget, and Lisa and her team, because that's coming in special education. So for the administrative budget, the total is $5.1 million, an increase of $64,000, an increase of 1.3%. thank you to the Henry Hudson High School art students for the beautiful pictures. Thank you for all of you to listen to this presentation. I know it's not what you came to see today, but it's part of a bigger picture.
Is the BOCES administrative fees, are we thinking those could change and affect our 2020-21 budget based on the wealth ratio, or will that be something that will happen later, further down the road?
That's what Joe and I want to discuss with the superintendent in BOCES. It usually takes the last 3 years, but in any regular time, the last 3 years can go up 1%, 2%. Here we're talking going down 20%.
Right.
So that's why we want to see if they give us some break and say, okay, you really are going to go 20%, 40%, 8% down in your pilots, and that represents a significant increase in wealth ratio. Maybe we can accelerate it instead of being a 3-year average, we can go 2 years like that, at least it's a third more. But again, it's, when I had the first conversation with the assistant superintendent for business from BOCES, and he was very receptive, but he said this has to be a BOCES decision. They might even have to go to the board to approve. I'm not sure, but I assume that will have to happen.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you, Enrique.
Thank you.